how are you doing?
Very good, how are you?
I'm very fine, thank you so much. How is it to be in Europe again?
Great. The entire German leg is sold out, the whole UK leg is sold out, all of France and all of Finland is sold out of this tour, so it's a very successful tour.
Yeah. Can you just tell us how do you start playing guitar and singing, and how old was you, and why did you start it?
I picked up guitar at 11 just because that's what 11-year-olds usually do, little press girls, I guess.
Yeah.
So I picked up guitar, tried out for a pop punk band because that was the only style of music I knew. I didn't know what metal was, never heard of metal. Tried out for one band, they didn't let me in. Got the Metallica's Black Album around the same time, around when I was 11 or so. Tried out for Trivium and made it in, so I've been in Trivium since I was about 12 years old.
Oh, okay. That's a real, how do I say, I started very young to play guitar. So.
Yep, yeah, so I was in this band when I was 12.
Okay, which musicians would you say, or artists, inspired you to play music?
I mean, the early ones that everyone's aware of, Metallica, Megadeth, Pantera, Testament, Slayer, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, those are the obvious ones that all of us shared a common interest for and a common love for being in the band. Each of us going to different things. For me, I was very much into melodic death metal and Gothenburg bands like In Flames, At the Gates, but also spreading into bands like Opeth, Dark Tranquility. Those things are very influential on me. I've always been really into black metal. Black metal doesn't really make its way into our music, but it's something I've always been into. We all go in and out of everything. Classical music, really anything that one of us likes at any given time. Yeah.
And so how was it to play like with you played at Trivium with In Flames or Metallica, so how was it to meet them, to meet your like idols?
Amazing. We've toured with and played with pretty much every single band that I think anyone could ever play with, which is really great. We played with Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell with Dio, 7 weeks with Iron Maiden. So we've toured with pretty much every single band, and every single time it's something pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Nowadays, a lot of these people we've befriended in Flames are some of our closest friends in the world. Sean from Emperor has become like a mentor / friend of mine, so it's all amazing. But it's not something that just happens right away. It's something that you have to work for, or something that, you know, I guess anyone's normal day job, you never know if you're really going to hit it off with one of your coworkers until you finally have common interests. So that's something that sometimes takes a while to discover.
And so how was it where you heard the first time that you got a contract on a label? Did you scream out loud, or?
No, I'm not one that's never overly excited about anything, not to sound jaded about anything, but even since I was a kid, I've never been overly excited about anything. First label we got signed to, I remember we were very excited about the release date, and unfortunately the album wasn't available in our hometown, so that was kind of a bummer. So it was a small German label that we signed to. Eventually that label got really good distribution, now the label does really well. We got signed to Roadrunner slightly after that in 2003, and the record came out in 2004. And so we've been touring since April 2004 as well.
Okay, and so, sorry, you have a new drummer since 2010. Nick is now playing the drums, and why isn't Travis in the band?
Dude, you're old news, man.
Yeah, I know, but
the chemistry between the four of our band members didn't work anymore. We weren't possible with making anything constructively creative anymore, so it was time to make a change. If we stayed together with that lineup, the band would have fallen apart. I'm not putting the blame on the ex-drummer, but I'm saying that the way the four of us interacted as a band, as musicians, as singers, as songwriters, it was just incompatible with the four of us.
Okay.
So it was basically we would have died off.
Yeah. And so how is it with the?
Obviously great. I mean, all sold out shows, giant festivals. You know, we're moving up on everything, and Waves are the biggest record we've ever had. So it's obviously going well.
Yeah, it's a very great album, and you have 18 tracks, I think, on this.
On the special edition.
Yeah. So how do you write so many tracks for one album?
Because I mean, the standard edition only has 12, which is the standard thing.
Yeah.
The 7, I think it's 16 that's on the special edition, and 3 of them are interludes, so they're not even full songs. But a band will write as many songs as they can before a record, at least we will. I mean, for our record that we're already writing for now, we had 25 songs written, and now we've just narrowed it down to 15.
Okay.
So it's constantly writing to see what stands ahead of the pack and then narrow it down.
So do you write them on tour when you're in the bus, or?
Whenever inspiration strikes, I find that the worst time to write is to say it's time to write, and that's usually when you make the most contrived songs. The best time to write is when inspiration truly hits, and you're like, I need to make something right now.
Yeah. Okay. And so do you have any place where you say, at this place I write the amazing songs from Trivium, or do you?
Yeah, I mean, there are places all over. I remember Hereford, in the dressing room hallway, we came up with the pre-chorus riff into the Mouth of Hell We March Corey and I did. There was a park outside of one of the venues in Copenhagen, Denmark, where I came with the intro to the Mouth of Hell We March. So every single place is a different spot. Enter the Conflagration was written in Denver, in the dressing room of, I think it's called Blackbird or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's, yeah.
And so, do you have any music video of you where you say, that was the funniest shooting I've ever had? Like,
For what?
for any music video that you ever shoot?
I mean, we got about 20 or 25 now, so there's one that was so terrible that we had to pull it and no one's ever seen it.
Okay.
So you'll never get that joke. It was that bad that we had to just can it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because when I look at the video for Answering We Are the Fire, it looks very funny, I think. So.
Yeah, it took 18 hours to shoot. So
18 hours.
Yeah. And someone, I was asking for eye drops and they gave me the wrong thing and I put it in my eye like swelled up massively before the end of the shoot, so that sucks.
Yeah, I think so. Do you have any plans for a new video of the In Waves record?
Watch the World Burn is coming out any moment now,
Okay.
and that's the German single.
Yeah.
The rest of the world's getting Black as a single, but Watch the World Burn was specifically for Germany.
Okay.
So that'll be out soon. It's a live video. It's a compilation of basically every tour that we've done since In Waves came out, all the way up until South America, and even the UK is in there as well. So it's kind of a live montage.
Okay.
We wanted to continue with the story of the In Waves video saga, but it wasn't time yet.
Yeah. So because of that, you posted on Facebook. I don't know if you post them. Watch the world.
Yeah, one of our web guy was, yeah, so it should be out soon.
Yeah, yeah, I thought so. I thought, okay, Watch World Burn could be a new video or something. So Christmas is close. Do you have any gifts that you give to yourself, or do you just give presents to your family and friends? Or
Good question. For myself, the extended editions of the Lord of the Rings Blu-rays. That's probably something I get for myself.
the 60 hours?
Yes, something like that. I'll definitely get that for myself, and probably the new Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Those will be my gifts to myself. I think they're already at home waiting for me, and the new Dark Knight Rises film.
Yeah.
So those are already at home.
So can you explain Trivium with just one word? What would it be?
Trivium.
Trivium is Trivium. It isn't like amazing.
If you give me one word, I'm just gonna say Trivium.
Okay. So your style, your music style is a little bit of metalcore and a little bit of what would you
It's metal.
say? It's just metal, not
Metalcore is already a non-existent genre, essentially. It's something that when we first came out, there were bands that were hailing this genre, but I mean, I think it was a term coined by the press. I think that there are great bands that do fusions of hardcore and metal, but I feel that every band takes their influence and makes it their own thing. I think to call In Flames nowadays a melodic death metal band is incredibly limiting, even though that's kind of like the press term, the coined term when they first came out. So, I mean, the same thing with, one could say that, you know, Caliban and Heaven Shall Burn lead the charge for what could be called as metalcore in a very positive way, because they fuse metal and hardcore very properly together. And for us, we've always been metal kids making metal. We have our influences from all sorts of different genres, all sorts of different things in life, but it's always just been metal. When we first came out, we were very adamant when people started saying, you guys are a metalcore band. Even then, even when we were 18, first time coming over to Germany, we're like, no, we're just a metal band, and that's all there is to it.
Okay, so would you say metalcore is the same like the new metal era?
And, well, nowadays it's deathcore.
Yeah.
So there's already a new thing, and I guarantee you in a year there'll be another new thing.
Yeah.
It's dubstep core or something.
I don't hope so.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure that's what it is. Or
so because of the dubstep thing, what do you think about like Korn? They're doing so many things now with dubstep.
Paulo brought up a great point when someone was saying that they were shocked by it. Korn has always been on top of that. Korn has always been taking what's very, at that moment of, I guess, I'm not saying pop, but I'm saying like the larger underground culture, you know, when they were having like rappers in their music videos and they're incorporating hip hop into their music, like Follow Leader playing like that kind of stuff. So for them, that's always been their thing, incorporating that into their sound. You know, I think a band like us, or a band like Metallica, because they're on PA right now, or a band like Maiden incorporating something like that into their music, it would not work. But with certain bands, it works really well.
Okay. Upon a Burning Body, they're like a newcomer band. So how are they? Do you think
they're amazing? That's why we have them on this tour. Yeah, we did a tour with them in the U.S. and I heard quite a bit about them. I saw them live and I said they have to be on our tour.
Okay.
So I fought to get them on this tour because I think they're a great band and really great people.
Yeah. So they are on tour with you because of you.
I mean, not just me, but
yeah.
I did say we have to have these guys on the tour.
Okay. So yeah, I think it's a great competition. The whole tour.
It's a perfect lineup. I was front row for Caliban in 2003, Worcester Metal Fest in the small room when Shadowhearts first came out. I really love that record. And so I'm a fan of all the bands that are out. I love As Lay Dying, I have all their records, and Upon Burning Body I'm a fan of, and everyone gets along really well.
Yeah.
But, you know, a lot of people are always like, oh, do you all hang out and stuff? But being a singer-screamer, because, you know, a lot of people just sing or just scream, but I have to do both.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, on a tour like this, I can't really have any... I don't want to say I can't have fun, because the shows are the most fun, but I basically have to save myself for the show.
Yeah.
So there's no drinking. If there's a show the next day, there's no staying up late. My voice is ragged tonight, because in Chemnitz everyone was smoking so many cigarettes that the venue just smelled like a giant cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
So that really affects me badly,
Yeah.
cigarettes. But yeah, they're great people, and it's awesome being on tour with everyone that's on this tour.
Okay. So do you ever have singing lessons or something?
I've had probably 10 to 15 throughout my entire life. That's it.
Not more. Yeah, because I think you have such an amazing voice, and to scream and to have some clear vocals, some good clear vocals. That's so hard.
Thank you. Yeah, it's taken a long time to develop it, and I've only recently, I feel like on this record cycle, become really comfortable with my singing. It's something that I work to always advance and always work on and always make better. And I think the reason why we keep getting better at everything, why each of us keep getting better on instruments, why I'm getting better at singing or screaming, is we've been home for 5 weeks since January, where we would have hit 272 shows by November 20th on In Waves alone that came out last August, and we've been touring straight since last June. Yeah. So that's why I feel like we keep getting better.
Yeah.
And we need to. If we were getting worse, we'd be doing something wrong.
Yeah, I've seen you about, I think, 5 times live now, and last time on the Nova Rock Festival in Austria. And I think every show you're getting better and getting better and getting better, and yeah, it's really amazing.
Thank you. We're very, very hard on ourselves,
Yeah.
and make sure we always do well.
Yeah. So you wouldn't call it a hobby, it's a full-time
Oh
job.
yeah, this is obviously all I do. I mean, for being home for a month,
Yeah.
this entire year, yeah.
Okay. I'm just a little bit nervous because
That's all right. Don't be.
yeah. Now it's our first interview, so
No shit.
yeah,
Cool, man.
we do it since a month.
Cool, man.
That's a little bit. So you have German and Japanese roots.
And Irish.
And Irish roots. So do you speak some German and Japanese?
I can say 5 to 15 words of at least 15 languages, I think, of the countries we normally go to. But just hello, how are you, we are Trivium, thank you, those kinds of things. But I think it's important for a band to communicate in the language and the tongue of the countries they're in, but as much as they possibly can. Because I mean, flip-flopping between every single country, a different language.
Yeah. I think because the audience likes it very much when you say like, "Hallo, wie geht's euch?" So in German, not in English. It sounds much better for the audience.
So I know quite a bit, or at least, like I said, 5 to 15 words in 15 languages or so.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah, but it's also amazing, I think,
Yeah.
because 15 languages, just a few words. But
Just the countries we go to typically.
yeah. Do you ever had a tour where you said, that was the greatest tour I've ever played, or?
I think I'll need some time to sit back when we've got maybe a break, and then I can constructively analyze that. But it's hard to pick that out right now.
Okay.
I'd say at least of this tour, the best shows have been Paris, Hamburg, Helsinki, and London. Those have been the best crowds of this whole tour.
Okay. And today it will be Munich.
I've been letting everyone know because Paris has been the best, and no one's topped Paris yet.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let them know Paris was the best, and I'll see what they do about it.
So is it true that the European audience is much more different than the American audience?
The truth of the matter is every single city of every single country in the entire world is totally different.
Okay.
The crowd in Chemnitz was different from Hamburg, was different from Berlin, was different from everywhere that we go. Every single city is totally different. South America, though, is probably one of the greatest places I've ever been to. They sing every single guitar part. In Buenos Aires, they sang every guitar part of every solo. No one else has done that yet. So they're the winners of this record cycle.
Okay, so they are in the audience and like.
Yeah, they were singing everything. Yep, the
Really?
whole crowd. Yep.
Okay, I think that's amazing when you see that, when you know, oh, those people singing my guitar parts that I've wrote. So
Yep.
and yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome.
We don't have much more questions.
Cool. Dankeschön.
Dankeschön. It was a
Enjoy the
pleasure
show.
to meet you,
Likewise, likewise.
and I hope you